Let's do a reflection exercise together. Don't answer now, just think. Why does scarcity seem to inhabit your home? I'm not just talking about the lack of money in my pocket, but that heavy feeling that hangs in the air, as if the future was an uncertain shadow. That's when you look at empty cabinets and bank account, and the only thing that occupies your mind is the counting of the days until the next salary. Do you recognize this sensation? I know yes, because I've been through it. And it was not a year or two, but a reality that was repeated in my family for generations. My grandfather, my father, and I divided an apartment with 5 other families in 2 tight rooms. Water was sought at the bucket, and the use of the refrigerator followed a rigid schedule. Today, years later, guess what? Some of those who lived with us continue exactly in the same place, attached to the same complaints and the same difficulties. Others, however, manage to break this cycle. They do not live in mansions, but have a house heated for comfort, a refrigerator always stocked, and a tranquility that money alone does not buy. So tell me, what makes the difference? Everyone lived in the same neighborhood, faced the same economic crises, and received similar wages. Why did some sink and others rise? It is not a matter of luck, neither of chance nor a scam. It is about a hard but simple truth that few people are willing to face because it hurts pride. This truth forces you to look in the mirror and see no poverty as an imposed condition, but as a lifestyle you, without realizing it, feeds every day. Understand, poverty is not limited to the absence of resources. She is in the way you think, and the choices you make, and the time you waste, the companies you go to, and the ideas that lets you get into your head. And I go further. There are 7 reasons why your home always seems empty. 7 uncomfortable truths that no one has the courage to say in his face, because it is easier to sell illusions such as the promise to enrich in 24 hours than to admit that we are often the architects of our own limitation. With our hands, our habits, and our beliefs. When he was young, I thought it was enough to have a profession, get a job in, ready, life would fit. But reality showed me the opposite. Even with a diploma and signed wallet, the money was still scarce, time disappeared between accounts and obligations, and perspective seemed increasingly distant. Only then did I start to realize what really mattered. Why some people, earning less, lived with higher quality than others with double salaries. That's when my true education began, not at the university banks, but in the school of life, learning from those who had overcome adversity. I heard businessmen who started from scratch, elderly wisdom, and people who turned debts into opportunities. And do you know what I found out? Successful people are not equal. They have different personalities, stories, and rhythms. But there is something that everyone shares. They don't think like the one who is stuck with the mentality of scarcity. They follow distinct rules, hard but fair. Today I will share these rules with you, but only if you are really willing to listen, not with the ears, but with an open mind. No excuses. Without that, this is not me, because it may be exactly about you. Why do you fear risk? Why do you follow advice from those who have never arrived anywhere? Why is everything good for tomorrow, as if tomorrow were infinite? Pay attention, because the third truth will shake your certainties and make you rethink your entire trajectory. And if you get to the end, you will be transformed, because, believe me, the experience of those who have rebuilt their lives from scratch, either by tradition or necessity, not just about business or picturesque stories. It is about resilience, how to lift when everything seems lost. If they did it, you can. Prepare. So let's start. First, poverty is not a lack of money. It is a pattern of thought. I've seen numerous cases of people who, upon receiving an unexpected inheritance or bonus, within a few months they return to the zero stake. Why? Because your mindset remained the same. A relative of mine, in the 1990s, sold socks in a market board. The profit was derisory, but he wrote down every penny, saved, planned. 5 years later, you 3 points of sale and employed employees. Another, who earned twice his twice on an engineering office, spent everything on cigarettes, happy hours, and appliance promotions. Even today, life's tight. What is the difference? The first one saw himself as a project under construction, a growing business. The second acted as an impulsive consumer. Money attracts who knows how to manage it, not who just complains about your absence. What to do? Start thinking about investments and assets, not momentary expenses and pleasures. Write down each reel that comes in and out, even if they are changed. Eliminate phrases like "this is not for me" or "I have to conform." Mental poverty is the first step to real poverty. Second, you are what you do, not what you dream. An acquaintance once told me I wanted to set up my own business, but meanwhile, I needed to finish that series, take a vacation, or wait for the right moment. I looked at him and said, "You don't want any of that. You're just fantasizing. Dreams without action are illusions. the false feeling that it is on the right track. Analyze your life. How many projects started and abandoned? How many times have you promised yourself that next week would everything change? Now tell me, are you a director or just a dreamer what to do? List everything you left in half and choose one thing, just one to start today. Transform desire into a concrete plane with deadlines, goals, and discipline. Evaluate not for what you want, but for what you do every day. Third, you spend more than you earn and live in the red. This is scary, but the truth is that today people are not poor for gaining little, but for living beyond their possibilities. New cell phones in the credit, finance cars, renovations made with loans. Even supermarket purchases are calculated to left something at the end of the month. A friend bought an installment iPhone just so as not to be behind at work. At lunch, however, he carried instant noodles of home. I asked him, don't you realize you're digging your own grave? What to do? Stop buying status and start buying growth. Learn how to store at least 10% of any income, even if they are 10 Rs. 80 all non-essential purchases for 30 days. At the end of the month, you will realize that 80% of that no longer makes a difference. Room. You escape the responsibility. It is painful, but it is necessary to say, most poor people refuse to assume control over their lives, income, health, or family. It is easier to blame the government, the boss, the economy, or the bad luck. I'll be straightforward. As long as you look for scapegoats, you will remain where you are. The moment you say this is my life and I am responsible for her is the starting point for any real change. What to do? Recognize, without excuses, in which areas you have failed. Choose one: finance, health, relationships, and declare, from today, it's me who is responsible for it. Write down your responsibilities for the month and fulfill them without complaints. Fifth, you hear who has nothing to teach. This is a subtle but crucial point. People remain poor because they listen to others in the same situation. Where are you going now? If anyone spends 20 years in the same position complaining about life, what valuable lesson he can offer? On my journey, I always sought to learn from those who were ahead, more experienced, more prosperous, wiser. The others thanked for the attention and went on. What to do? Stop asking advice to those who do not have concrete results in the area in question. Find one or two mentors in books, podcasts, courses, and focus on them. Your circle influences your destination. You're the average of the 5 people you live with. Sixth, you want everything fast and wrong. There is an obsession with shortcuts for the idea of getting rich overnight. But note, everything that is hurried to crumble at the same speed. The mindset of haste is proper to those who think as poor. Those who truly enrich the process requires time, strategy, and patience. A friend started a business without renting an expensive office or spending on sophisticated logos. Instead, it focused on what really mattered. It simply started with the essentials. The first gains were rooted in growing, not in appearances. Today, he has a business network. Already the outro, I knew that from the beginning. He spent $300,000 on a luxurious website, rented a pompous office, bought a leather chair, and in 6 months closed the doors. Why? Because I was looking for the beautiful, not the profitable. What to do? Learn to have patience. Real success is a marathon, not a sprint. Start small. The important thing is the flow, not the facade. Bet in the long run, or will always return to stake. Seventh, you don't believe you deserve it anymore. This is the most dangerous, because it can be intelligent, hardworking, talented, but if in the head it echoes, I do not deserve, the game is already lost. How many people I saw that they have banned themselves from living better, for me enough. I'm not at this level. This is not for me. I tell you, it's for you. You are no worse than driving an imported car. It is no less capable than those who opened a business. It is not poorer than those who have already built a house. The difference is one, they allowed themselves, and you, know. What to do? Start with small steps. Say yourself, I deserve a better life. Repeat this every day, even if at first it sounds false. Write, without limits, how you want your life in 3 years. Act as if that person was already. Behavior change is the mindset. 7 hard truths. Uncomfortable, but honest. Perhaps you recognized yourself in one, maybe in all. Don't be afraid. This is not a sentence. It is a starting point, because, seeing the truth, you are already ahead of those who still live in the illusion. In the next part, I will close and show you how to turn these 7 truths into its 0 mark. And if you got here, you are no longer a viewer, you are my interlocutor. And I do not abandon my interlocutors. Did we get to the end? In truth, no. This is just the beginning. Now you know if you know 7 truths that are not in school books, and no lazy commercial or neighbor with a beer in hand will tell you. This knowledge came from blood, errors, experience, decades observing defeats, disappointments, and finally victories. Because I'm not just a theorist, I've been in the background. I know how it is when silence at home is not peace, but despair. When the refrigerator doesn't break because it never has something to spoil. I remember what it is like to count on coins until the payment day. The shame of taking your wife's last grades just to buy a bread on the way to work. Then come the years, understanding, clarity, and suddenly you realize poverty is not permanent. She has a cure not with money, not with miracles, but with the truth. The truth hurts, but it's the medicine. Look, if you admitted that poverty is an internal, non external issue, you are no longer poor. If you started identifying your bad habits, it is already stronger than yesterday. Even if in thought, I said I deserve more, is already on the way. From now on, each day is a workout. Each choice, one test. Opt for what nourishes, not what sweetens, for the necessary, not easy, by growth, not for comfort. I can't live your life for you. I will not change your accounts, fill your refrigerator, or inflate your self-esteem, but I may be by your side. I can show where to look, to talk to, what to avoid, and to direct your steps. Just remember one thing, if you don't take control of your life, someone will do it for you, and then they will tell you where to work, when to rest, how much deserve to win while you live for the rules of others, alien dreams, and a movie of others, where you are just extra. But you are not an extra. You are the protagonist of your story, and even if everything seems bad now, that's no reason to give up. It's reason to wake up. After all, why did you get here? Empty soul people can't stand it until the end. For them, it's boring. Want life hacks, success in 5 minutes, magic formulas to get rich in 1 week. You stayed. That means it's ready. It means that inside you, there's a spine perhaps hidden under lazy layers, fear or tiredness, but it exists. Your mission is to wake it up. Take a step. Anyone, today, wake up early. Read a chapter of a book. Cancel an unnecessary signature. Call someone who can help you. Eliminate the superfluous. Add the essentials. And I just ask one thing, subscribe to the channel not by the numbers, but not to lose what is just starting. I will not sell you illusions that everything is easy, nor promises guaranteed success. I'll tell you something else. You will get it if you are not alone. And here, in the space, you are not. I don't share empty motivation, but tools. I do not inspire you for inspiring, but I convey experience tested in real life. If you want the next videos to be more than content to become part of your journey, sign up. Like if any idea today hit you. Comment which of the 7 truths was the most painful or accurate for you. I read every comment. And remember what my grandfather said. If you understand where you were wrong, you're not wrong, you're learning. Take care. Be honest with yourself. Your story is just beginning. Until the next video.